The hospital room smelled of antiseptic and fading roses, the beeps of machines a cruel rhythm to my mother's labored breaths. I pressed my ear against the cracked door, heart pounding as her weak voice confessed to my aunt. "I've loved her all these years, not him, tell Sarah I never stopped." In that moment, the world I'd built on family lies crumbled, revealing my mother's hidden life as a lesbian, trapped in a 40-year marriage to my father, and the shockwaves that would redefine my own forbidden love. I froze in the hallway of St. Vincent's Hospital in Manhattan, the fluorescent lights buzzing like angry bees overhead. My hand trembled on the doorknob, but I didn't dare turn it. Inside, my mother, Eleanor Thompson, lay dying from the cancer that had ravaged her body for 2 years. She was 68, frail but still beautiful, with her silver hair and sharp blue eyes that had always seen right through me. My father, Robert, had stepped out for coffee, leaving her alone with Aunt Lydia, her sister. That's when I heard it. The words that shattered everything. "I've hidden it for so long, Lydia," Mom whispered, her voice cracking like old porcelain. "But I can't go without saying it. I was in love with Margaret. All those years ago in college. She was the one. Not Robert. He was safe. Society expected it. But my heart belonged to her. Margaret." The name hit me like a subway train. Aunt Margaret, Mom's college roommate, the one who'd visited sporadically over the years, always with a knowing smile and lingering hugs. I'd grown up thinking she was just an old friend, but now as I eavesdropped, the pieces fell into place. The secret of letters, the unexplained trips, the way Mom's eyes lit up when Margaret called. My mother was a lesbian, and she'd married Dad anyway, for 40 years of quiet deception. I stumbled back, my mind reeling. I'm Alex Thompson, 35, a graphic designer in Brooklyn, openly gay since college. I'd come out to my parents at 22 expecting drama, but Mom had hugged me tightly, saying, "Be true to yourself, honey." Dad had nodded awkwardly, changing the subject to baseball. Now it all made sense, her quiet support, her unspoken understanding. But why hadn't she lived her truth? And what did this mean for me, entangled in my own messy romance? That night, after Mom slipped into a coma, I drove home through the rain-slick streets of New York, the city lights blurring like my tears. My girlfriend, Jamie, waited in our cozy brownstone apartment, her curly red hair tied back, stirring pasta sauce. We'd been together for 3 years, a whirlwind of passion and arguments. Jamie was a journalist, fierce and ambitious, covering LGBTQ+ rights for the Village Voice. She pulled me into her arms as I collapsed on the couch. "What happened, Alex?" she asked, her green eyes searching mine. I told her everything. The overheard confession, the name Margaret. Jamie's face softened. "Oh babe, that's huge. Your mom. She sacrificed so much." But as I lay awake that night, Jamie's steady breathing beside me, doubt crept in. If Mom could hide her love for decades, what secrets was I keeping? Jamie and I had hit a rough patch lately. She wanted commitment, a wedding, kids. I hesitated, haunted by my parents' facade of a marriage. Was I doomed to repeat their mistakes? The next morning I called Aunt Lydia. "Tell me about Margaret," I demanded over coffee at a diner in Midtown. Lydia sighed, her wrinkled hands wrapping around her mug. Eleanor and Margaret met at Barnard College in the 70s. It was a different time. Stonewall had just happened, but society wasn't ready. They fell in love deeply. But your grandparents pressured Ellie to marry Robert, a good man from a solid family. Margaret moved to California, heartbroken. They stayed in touch, secretly. Why didn't Mom leave Dad? I pressed. Fear, Alex. Kids, you and your brother. Stability. And love in a way. Robert was kind, but it was never passion for her. I thought of my childhood in suburban Connecticut, the perfect American dream. Barbecues, little league, holidays with extended family. Mom volunteered at the PTA, baked apple pies, but there were moments, her staring out the window lost in thought, or the way she'd play Joni Mitchell records on repeat, singing about lost loves. As the days blurred, Mom's condition worsened. I sat by her bed, holding her hand, whispering, "I know, Mom. About Margaret. It's okay." Did she hear? Her eyes fluttered once, a faint squeeze. Dad hovered, oblivious, his face etched with genuine grief. He loved her in his straight-laced way. The irony twisted my gut. Meanwhile, Jamie and I argued. "We need to talk about us," she said one evening, as we walked through Central Park, leaves crunching underfoot. "I'm not ready," I snapped. "Look at my parents, 40 years of lies." "That's them, not us," Jamie retorted, her voice rising. "I love you, Alex. But if you're scared." The fight escalated, words like daggers. She stormed off, leaving me alone on a bench, the city skyline mocking my solitude. Back at the hospital, Aunt Margaret arrived from San Francisco. She was elegant, 68 like Mom, with short gray hair and a warm smile. Seeing her lean over Mom's bed, whispering endearments, broke me. "She never stopped loving you," I told her later in the waiting room. Margaret's eyes filled with tears. And I her. But life, it pulls us apart. That night, as Mom's breathing grew ragged, I overheard Dad talking to her. "I knew, Ellie. About Margaret. I always knew. But I loved you enough to stay." My world tilted again. Dad knew? The shock propelled me into action. I called Jamie, begging her to come. She did, holding me as Mom passed peacefully at dawn, the first light filtering through the windows. The funeral was a blur. Family, friends, eulogies praising her devotion. But I knew the truth. And in the weeks that followed, grief mingled with anger. Why the charade? Why not freedom? I dove into Mom's old journals, hidden in the attic of our family home. Pages filled with poetry, sketches of Margaret, confessions of longing. "I choose safety over fire," one entry read. "But oh, the fire burns." Inspired, I reached out to Margaret. Over Zoom, she shared stories. Stolen kisses in dorm rooms, weekends in the Catskills, dreams of a life together crushed by expectations. As spring bloomed in New York, Jamie and I reconciled tentatively. "Let's take it slow," I said. But doubt lingered. Then came the betrayal. Sorting Mom's things, I found letters from Jamie. No, wait. A hidden box revealed correspondence between Mom and a woman named Clara. Not Margaret. Recent dates. Mom had an affair? My heart raced. The letters were tucked in a velvet pouch, yellowed envelopes with San Francisco postmarks. Clara. Who was Clara? I sat on the dusty attic floor, sunlight streaming through the small window, my hands shaking as I opened one. "Dearest Ellie," it began in elegant script. "Our afternoons in the park remind me why I wake each day. Your laugh, your touch. It's the light in my shadowed life. Until next time, see." Dates from the last decade. Mom had been visiting Margaret, but these were to someone else. Betrayal surged through me. Mom preached fidelity, yet here was proof of infidelity. Not just emotional, but perhaps physical, though the letters danced around details. I confronted Margaret over coffee in a quaint cafe near Washington Square Park. "Who's Clara?" I demanded, sliding a letter across the table. Her face paled. "Clara was a friend. After I married, yes, I did, to cover my own truths. Ellie and I drifted. She met Clara at a book club in the 90s. It was brief but intense." "Brief? These span years." Margaret sighed. "Ellie was loyal to your father in body, but her heart wandered. Clara passed away 5 years ago. Cancer, like Ellie." The revelation hit hard. Mom wasn't a saint. She was human, flawed, seeking solace in stolen moments. It mirrored my own temptations. Lately at work, I'd grown close to Lena, a colleague, dark-haired, witty, openly flirting. Jamie sensed it, our fights escalating. "You're distant, Alex," Jamie accused one night in our apartment, the Empire State Building glowing outside our window. "I'm processing," I retorted. "Mom's secrets. It's messing with me." But truth be told, Lena's text lit up my phone. "Drinks after work?" I went once, twice, laughter flowing like wine. No kisses, but the spark was there. Dad, meanwhile, crumbled post-funeral. We met for lunch in Connecticut, his once sturdy frame frail. "I miss her every day," he said, staring at his sandwich. "Did you really know about Margaret?" I asked. He nodded. "Suspected from the start. But in the 80s, divorce was scandalous. We had you kids. I loved her as a friend. It worked." "Worked?" It was a lie. Life's full of compromises, Alex. For love, for family. His words haunted me. Was my relationship with Jamie a compromise? Or true fire? As summer heated the city, Jamie and I attended Pride Parade, rainbow flags waving amid cheers. Holding her hand, I felt a surge of affection. But later, at a bar in the village, Lena appeared. "Fancy seeing you here," she purred, her hand on my arm. Jamie noticed, eyes narrowing. "Who's this?" "A coworker," I stammered. The ride home was silent. "If you're not all in, tell me," Jamie said finally. "I am," I lied, but doubt festered. Digging deeper, I visited Mom's old college archives at Barnard. Yellowed photos showed her and Margaret arm in arm, beaming at protests. A librarian shared stories. They were inseparable. Rumors flew, but times were tough. Inspired, I wrote letters to Margaret, piecing together Mom's life. She responded with anecdotes. Picnics in Central Park, whispered promises under stars. But the Clara letters gnawed. One night, wine-fueled, I confessed to Jamie. Mom cheated. Emotionally, at least. Jamie's eyes widened. That doesn't define her, or us. Yet the hypocrisy stung. Mom supported my coming out, but hid her own affairs. Tension peaked when Lena kissed me at an office party. I pulled away, guilt flooding me. "I can't," I said. But Jamie found out. A colleague mentioned it. "How could you?" she screamed, packing a bag. "It's not what you think. Save it, Alex. You're just like your mother. Hiding, betraying." She left, slamming the door. Alone in the apartment, I sobbed, the city noise a mocking symphony. Days blurred into despair. I threw myself into work, designing campaigns for LGBTQ+ nonprofits. But emptiness echoed. Dad called. "Come home, kiddo. Let's talk." In Connecticut, over his famous chili, he shared more. "Your mom and I had an understanding." Quietly. I had my own. Discretions. "What?" "A few flings. We stayed for you kids for appearances. But we cared deeply. The family I'd idolized was a facade. Yet, in its cracks, humanity shone, flawed love enduring." Motivated, I tracked down Clara's family in Boston. A drive up by 95, autumn leaves fiery. Her daughter, Sophie, met me at a harbor cafe. Mom spoke of Eleanor fondly. They shared books, walks. It was platonic mostly, but emotional. Platonic. Relief washed over me. Mostly. Mom was straight, widowed. But their bond was special, support in tough times. Not full betrayal then. Nuance. Like life. Returning to New York, I begged Jamie back. "I messed up. But I choose you. Fire over safety." She hesitated but returned. "We worked through this." As winter approached, Margaret visited. We scattered Mom's ashes in the Hudson, wind carrying them like freed secrets. Healing began. Jamie and I attended therapy, rebuilding trust. But a final twist. In Mom's will, a letter to me. "My darling Alex, live your truth boldly. Couldn't, but you can. Love, Mom." Tears flowed. Her sacrifice fueled my resolve. With Jamie back, our apartment felt alive again. Candles flickering, jazz records spinning. We cooked Italian feasts, laughed over wine, made love with renewed passion. But scars lingered. Trust rebuilt slowly, like a bridge over turbulent waters. I channeled grief into a project. A graphic novel about hidden loves, inspired by Mom's story. Sketches filled notebooks, women in shadows emerging into light. Publishers nibbled, but doubt plagued. Was I exploiting her pain? Margaret became a confidant, visiting from California. Over brunch at a Soho bistro, she shared more. "Ellie wanted to leave once in the 80s, but you were young. She chose stability. Why not after we grew up?" Fear of judgment. And habit. Robert was her rock in his way. I nodded, understanding. My own fears mirrored hers. Commitment terrified, lest it trap like her marriage. Jamie pushed gently. "Let's get engaged," she said one crisp fall day. As we strolled Brooklyn Bridge, tourists snapping photos. My heart raced. "Soon," I promised, but hesitated. Work distracted. The novel took shape. Shadows of the Heart. Protagonists mirroring Mom and Margaret. Lena, sensing my distance, backed off. Good riddance. Thanksgiving brought family together. Dad, my brother Tom, and his wife, Aunt Lydia. In the Connecticut home, turkey roasting, we shared stories. Dad raised a glass. To Ellie, who taught us love's many forms. Later, alone with Dad, I asked, "Any regrets?" "Some. But we had good years. Laughter, travels. It wasn't all bad." His words softened my anger. Perhaps their marriage, flawed, held beauty. Christmas in New York sparkled lights on Fifth Avenue. Ice skating at Rockefeller. Jamie gifted me a ring, not proposing but symbolic. "When you're ready." Pressure built. New Year's Eve, fireworks over the East River. I confessed my fling with Lena. "It was nothing, but I need honesty." Jamie cried but forgave. "We're human. Let's move forward." Spring brought blooms and breakthroughs. My novel sold to a small press. Launch party in a Greenwich Village bookstore, friends toasting. Margaret attended, beaming. Ellie would be proud. But drama resurfaced. Tom discovered the letters, Clara's. "What the hell, Alex? Mom cheated." "Not really," I defended. "Emotional support." He fumed. "It taints everything." Family rift opened. Dad mediated. "Let it go, son. She was complex." Tom distanced, holidays strained. Meanwhile, Jamie's career soared. A Pulitzer nomination for her series on queer elders. Jealousy nipped, but pride won. Summer vacation. We escaped to the Hamptons, beach walks healing. "Marry me," I blurted one sunset, waves crashing. Jamie's eyes widened. "Yes." Engagement ring on her finger, joy surged. But fate twisted. Margaret fell ill, heart issues. Flying to San Francisco, I sat by her bed in UCSF hospital. "Tell me more about Mom," I urged. Stories flowed. First kiss under cherry blossoms, dreams of running away. We planned to elope, but family intervened. "Why didn't you fight?" Youth. Naivety. Regret it now. Margaret recovered, but vulnerability hit. Life's fragility. Back home, wedding plans bloomed. Venue in Central Park. Guest list swelling. Tom reconciled, apologizing. Mom's human. Like us. Highs soared, but lows lurked. Jamie's ex, Riley, reappeared. Offering a job in DC, "It's tempting," Jamie admitted. Jealousy flared. "Go if you want." Argument ensued. "Don't push me away." Echoes of Mom's fears. Therapy helped. "Communicate," the counselor urged. We did. Jamie stayed committed. As autumn leaves fell, the novel released. Reviews praised. A poignant tale of hidden desires, resonating with America's evolving queer narrative. Interviews followed, NPR, local papers. Sharing Mom's story anonymously felt cathartic. But a bombshell. A reader emailed claiming to be Clara's niece. Aunt Clara kept diaries. Want to see. Meeting in Boston, she handed over journals. Entries detailed friendship, not romance. Eleanor was a confidant during my widowhood. Nothing more. Relief but confusion. Why the intimate letters? Poetic license, the niece said. They wrote dramatically like Victorian novels. Mom's affair was exaggerated affection. Humanity again, misinterpretations. Sharing with family, bonds strengthened. Wedding day approached. Rehearsal dinner in a Manhattan loft, toasts flowing. Dad pulled me aside. "I'm happy for you, kid." Live openly. Tears welled. Thanks to Mom. The ceremony. Under blooming cherry trees, nod to Mom and Margaret, we exchanged vows. "In fire and safety I choose you," I said. Jamie smiled. "Forever." Honeymoon in California. Visiting Margaret. "You've honored her," she said. Back in Brooklyn, life settled, routine but rich. My brother announced a baby. Dad dated gently. Reflecting, Mom's secret wasn't shock, but gift. Teaching authenticity amid compromise. Years passed like pages in a well-worn book. Jamie and I adopted a rescue dog, Max, his paws clicking on hardwood floors. Our careers flourished, my graphic novel's a series now, hers a book deal. But echoes of Mom's life lingered, reminding us to nurture our flame. One evening, sorting old photos, I found a snapshot. Mom and Dad at my college graduation, arms linked, smiling. Behind, Margaret in the crowd, eyes on Mom. Layers of love. I framed it, a reminder of complexity. Tom's daughter, Ellie Jr., arrived. Chubby cheeks, blue eyes like grandma. Holding her, I whispered stories of her namesake. Dad remarried, a kind widow, Susan. Life goes on, he said at their small ceremony in Connecticut. Margaret published her memoirs, dedicating to Mom, to the love I lost but never forgot. Book tour brought her to New York. Dinner together, Jamie, me, Margaret. Laughter, tears. You've built what we couldn't, she said. Inspiration struck. I organized a queer history exhibit at a Brooklyn gallery, artifacts from Stonewall era, including Mom's journals, anonymized. Opening night buzzed. Activists, artists. A young lesbian approached. This story, it's mine. Hiding from family. Her words affirmed. Mom's legacy helped others. But conflict brewed. Jamie's job demanded travel, weeks in Europe. Loneliness crept. Old doubts resurfaced. A message from Lena. Congrats on the marriage. Miss our talks. I deleted it, but temptation flickered. Jamie returned, sensing tension. What's wrong? Honesty. I feel adrift sometimes. We talk deep into night, recommitting. We're in this. Summer brought a road trip cross-country like Mom's dreams. From New York to San Francisco, highways unfolding American vistas. Cornfields, mountains, deserts. In Chicago, we visited queer landmarks. In Denver, hiked trails. In Vegas, renewed vows kitschily. Arriving at Margaret's, she greeted with hugs. Ellie would love this. Over wine on her porch, bay views twinkling, Margaret shared final secrets. We met once more in the aughts. A weekend in Napa. Said goodbye properly. Closure. Returning home fulfilled. But life threw curves. Dad's health declined, heart like Margaret's. Hospital vigils echoed Mom's. I knew about Clara too, he confessed bedside. Just friends. Your mom needed outlets. All misconceptions cleared. Dad recovered stronger. Our 5th anniversary. Party in the park, friends toasting. Reflecting, Mom's overheard words weren't shock but catalyst, pushing me to authenticity. I wrote a sequel novel, Embers of Truth, about reconciliation. Sales soared, but true success, our family blended, loving. Jamie pregnant via IVF, our child coming. Naming her Eleanor, full circle. As I watched Jamie's belly grow, hand on the bump, peace settled. Mom's life. Sacrifice for era's chains. Mine freedom in progress. Humanity prevailed. Love in myriad forms, enduring drama, finding light. The baby arrived on a stormy New York night. Cries piercing thunder. Eleanor Ellie Thompson Reed, tiny fists waving. Eyes like her grandmother's. Holding her, Jamie and I wept joyfully. She's perfect, Jamie whispered. Parenthood transformed us. Sleepless nights but deeper bond. Max the dog guarded her crib loyally. Dad visited often, bouncing Ellie on his knee. Like old times, he said, eyes misty. Margaret flew in for the christening, non-religious but celebratory. The cycle breaks, she toasted. Love wins. As Ellie grew, toddler steps in our Brooklyn home, I reflected on Mom's legacy. Her hidden love taught empathy, resilience. Challenges came. Jamie's postpartum blues, my work stress. But we faced together, therapy a lifeline. Tom's family expanded, playdates bridging rifts. 10th anniversary. Trip to Hawaii beaches soothing. Renewing vows at sunset, Ellie scattering flowers. Back home, I curated another exhibit. Queer families through time. Mom's story central, inspiring visitors. A documentary filmmaker approached. Your mother's tale. Let's tell it. Hesitant but agreed. Hidden Hearts premiered at Sundance, acclaim following. Interviews delved deep. How did the secret change you? It freed me, I said. From fear to fullness. Margaret co-starred, her poise captivating. Dad watched proudly. Ellie smiles from above. As years waned, Margaret passed peacefully at 80. We flew to her funeral, scattering ashes in the bay, with Mom's remaining ones united finally. Grief fresh but healing. Ellie, now 10, asked questions. Was Grandma gay like you? Lesbian, yes. But she hid it. Why? Times were different. But she loved deeply. Ellie nodded, wise beyond years. I'm glad you don't hide. Me too. Jamie and I aged gracefully, gray streaks, laughter lines. Careers peaked. My books taught in schools, her journalism influencing policy. Retirement loomed, dreams of a cottage upstate, gardening, writing. But drama's echo. Ellie came out at 16 by. We hugged her. BU. Her first heartbreak. A girl at school. We consoled, sharing stories. Cycle of support. Dad's 90th birthday. Family gathered in Connecticut, house echoing laughter. Toasts to endurance, truth. He passed soon after, content. In his will. To Alex, my daughter's journals, keep sharing. I did. Final novel. Legacy of Flames. Weaving generations. At launch, Ellie read excerpts. Inspired by my grandma's. Applause thundered. Reflecting a lone city skyline aglow, I whispered thanks to Mom. Her secret shocked but saved, leading to this rich, authentic life. Love's tapestry. Drama, betrayal, romance, humanity. In America's evolving heart we thrived. The end.